Down at LSU, they're selling jersey patch advertisements pending NCAA approval. Now, obviously, there's this new commission that has to approve everything, I do believe. These patches for LSU, I think, obviously, this is inevitable. I assume, I don't think football will ever get to the point of like soccer where soccer's jerseys just become the company, basically, is the big thing, and then the team brooch.
Crest.
They're the patch, yeah.
Team crest patch is just kind of small there. But the patch on the practice jerseys, the patch on the actual jerseys, it's only a matter of time before they NASCAR that. And LSU obviously is the first. As soon as LSU gets this done, I assume every other school will do the exact same thing.
Yeah, I agree. And I assume there are some people who are mad about it.
Maybe Notre Dame won't.
Yeah.
Like the
I think you're right.
Maybe the Buckeyes won't.
I think you're right.
But
Penn State maybe probably won't.
Yeah, like the
Michigan.
The super traditional.
Yeah.
I don't know if they will let it because they got a lot of money too. This is probably for some sort of, not that LSU doesn't have enough money. They fill that place up and everything like that. But like, I'd assume this money will go towards something. Is it a revenue?
You would assume. Yeah, like the NIL, the salary cap or whatever. And you've talked about the Big Ten money versus the SEC money in some instances. Like this might, the schools that we just listed, at least Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, like a lot. I mean, Notre Dame's kind of the separator, but a lot of Big Ten schools versus the SEC, which has all that tradition and everything. But they might actually need to do that.
Isn't it crazy to think that everybody from the North has said that everybody in the SEC has been paying players? Right? That is just kind of how it's gone. Everybody in the SEC has probably been saying the other SEC schools have been paying players. The reason why that is because SEC has been so dominant. So they got to be cheating. That's how everybody thinks about everything.
Yeah.
If these people are winning more than everybody else, they got to be cheating. They got to be paying. We saw Saban's reaction whenever he was accused of it.
Yep.
He was not. That shit, I think, still pisses him off.
Oh, yeah.
The Alabama Jones conversation. I still think he is like, now you're like questioning my integrity basically as a competitor against everybody else.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people say, hey, Coach Saban, you were definitely doing that. I think just like in conversation around sporting worlds. And I think Coach Saban does not just – I think Shane was the person that learned that in a public situation. But I don't think so I think maybe that conversation is a little bit bigger because we hear the stories like McDonald's bags were being delivered with extra cheese, extra cheddar in this thing from maybe an SEC school. And then obviously there's conversations about number one overall picks and Heisman winners' dads allegedly negotiating deals behind the scenes and things like that. That's gotten out publicly. So I think whenever you hear those stories that justify the concern of it potentially taking place, it empowers people to have the convo and assume that it was happening everywhere. Now, I was not there. I do not know how any of it works. I just know that Coach Saban gets very fucking pissed whenever people just say that he paid and did things that nobody else was doing. But with that being said, now the North in the paying of players is seemingly at an advantage. If you ask everybody, not everybody, most people from the SEC and most people from the Big Ten, they're like, we got a lot of donors in this thing because we can take $100,000 from each person. And once we start accruing all of our people and they feel like they're a part of it, let alone the $5 million, $10 million donations. But we got them, Penn State. I bring them up all the time because I don't think anybody's talking about them yet, but we will in 2 to 3 years when every sport they are in the Final Four for. That's their goal, and they have enough money to do it. They have the most CEOs out of any school in America. CEOs get paid a shit ton of money. People get very pissed off about how much money CEOs make. CEOs are also very proud, I think, of where they come from. The Penn State alumnus are a very proud bunch. They are very culty, just like other schools that are very in. So it's like they've been able to rally hundreds of donors as opposed to some schools that have like 2 or 3. It's like they're not the only ones too. Michigan just recruited another billionaire to get into their thing, let alone all the money that they have in there. They have hundreds of donors as opposed to some of the other places. That's a real advantage. Let alone Oregon. I mean, we just talked about Oregon.
Yeah.
Uncle Phil up there is very prevalent in the sport. This is literally his brand. He would certainly want them. He's fully committed. It's like there's advantages in places, and then some schools are trying to figure out how they can catch up, and some big names, I think, too.
And we're not blanket statement saying, hey, the whole Big Ten has more money than the SEC, because
and we're not saying LSU doesn't have money, by the way. No. We're just talking about an overall.
But there's levels to it, like Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon. I think those schools, as far as donors and boosters are concerned, have more money than the majority of the SEC schools, except for Texas. And then you have levels like Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, Georgia, stuff like that, who definitely have more money than that second tier of Big Ten schools. But like those lower, those teams that were always like giving the McDonald's bags away and stuff like that. I believe that was Tennessee. Those were teams that were always trying to catch those top tier teams. So I don't think Saban, to like the point we were talking about, Saban didn't have to. Like he was just putting guys in.
And that's why he was so mad, because
Yes.
like his entire thing was guys are coming here to compete against the best and make it to the NFL. And I'm trying to develop the human into a man. I'm trying to develop the player into an all-pro. Like that was like Saban's entire thing. So I think whenever people say that he was doing this, he gets pissed off about it. He's like, no, that was happening, but you're wrong fucking guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the team's trying to catch those teams.
Yeah, now it's like the more, I'll be intrigued to see how it all works out, because it's not just football. This is all sports that this thing will take place. Last thing, go ahead, comment.
Well, and just like as far as the NIL goes, like you see Ohio State, and they took Caleb Downs from Alabama, but they were still able to retain, like a Ryan Williams. Like some places can have that one 5-star multi-million-dollar player, and then some can have multiple.
I think we need to start bringing up Texas A&M a little bit more from what I'm seeing from this Google search here. And I've been down in Texas A&M. They got some old money down there.
Yeah.
They got farmers down there. That place is awesome.
I should have mentioned A&M.
Texas A&M, by the way, they are all in with the cause. I mean, they are down for the Aggies down there. We're talking midnight practice the night before to rehearse the chants, so we're all on the same page. I loved going down to that school, especially that flag.
Yeah, huge.
Dude, they had no problem with an $80 million buyout.
See ya. All right, we're done with you, bud.